And Fatih is smiling because it's Valentine, isn't it? It's Valentine's Day tomorrow. This is my package. And I'm so grateful, eternally grateful. I'm not going to open it for you to see. Hey, it's heavy. Wow. I love it. That's nice. All right. Good evening. Welcome to the show. Today, we are going to have a wonderful show today. So this is Good Evening Ghana and it's live. I've just been taken aback by the beautiful Valentine present that has been presented to me. It's very, very nice. Okay. All right. So today we have a lot for you. We have a lot for you, don't we? Those of you who were watching our social media page, you know that we've put together a 12-minute documentary, and we're going to have some analysis also on a testimony, a writer's testimony. Professor Kwame Nahoi wrote a book. And you see, people have been worried in this country about the new culture of disrespect and insult in political discourse, coming especially from younger people who are actually turning the heat on people who are old enough to be their fathers. They call them all kinds of names. You can have a political discourse and you can disagree. But we are worried about the culture that has been seeping through our society. It's quite disturbing to many people, and they feel that this is wrong. So whilst we were here yesterday working on some other project, we were here yesterday, one of the young people found this in the book and told me that, oh, this is there. So we're going to show it to you. Professor Kwame Nahoi, in his book, Working with Rawlings, has claimed ownership of this culture, and I'll show you how he's claimed the ownership of the culture. We're going to put it up on the screen. We want to forever change that narrative that says that when you want to hide something from a black man, put it in a book. We want to change that culture. So we're going to read every book and share with you what is inside about the history of Ghana, what has happened, what people have done. So we found this and we're going to bring it to you tonight. That's very interesting. Also, we have some interesting analysis to share with you. It's about the prospects of the parliamentary elections for 2024. Now, we're going to look at the historical parliamentary elections from in those years. What I want to say is that in those epochs that the eight could have been broken. So we're going to take election 2000 as the first one. So since 1992, election 2000 was the first time that the ruling party who were in their second term were attempting to break the eight. That was the Professor Mills election of 2000. We're going to give you an analysis of the parliamentary situation, okay? An analysis of the parliamentary situation in terms of where the parliament is going, or how the parliament was before then and how the parliament became. So we're going to look at parliaments pre-2000 and parliaments after 2000 within the context of breaking the eight. And then we'll throw it to 2016 at 2008 and look at 2008. It was then the MPP's turn hoping to break the eight. What was the parliamentary distribution before the 2008 and after the 2008? And then we're going to swing it to 2016 where the NDC had another opportunity once again to break the eight. And we are going to see that in that kind of situation, you're going to see that the parliamentary distribution before 2016 and after 2016. And then we're going to bring you the real analysis for the 2024. We're going to show you the parliamentary distribution now and give you a historical analysis to suggest what may be happening in 2020, post-2024, or what may be happening in 2024 election. This is an election year, so we're dedicating all our conversations to the elections of this year. Okay, so that's coming up, and that you shouldn't miss that one. Also, we have Countryman Songo, who is here. Countryman Songo is in the studio to talk to us about the Valentine's Day demonstration that they are conducting with the general public against the GFA. When he arrived here this evening, Countryman Songo wanted to give us a taste of what will be happening tomorrow, just a little taste before he comes into the studio. Here is what we recorded outside just about half an hour ago. Have a look.
Hello, Ghana, Fugina, Yamia, Drusu, Demono, Drusu live. We a peaceful demonstration, demo live. I have Basu, Brasport, and Chinamapa, 9 Pepe, na ye shasie in nanti from a passport settle na ye pepe near the airport Independence Square live and then media Bametro TV Paula Domochi ni show live enti obia nje obia meka yo Ghana ni bia oba brema kula panyini obia blasters perform ye football perform #save Ghana football enti ye china demo ni live more fire more fire more fire more fire. Live. We a peaceful demonstration, demo live. I have Barcelona Brasport and Chinamapa 9 AM pepe na ye shasie in nanti from a Brasport settle 9 AM pepe near the airport Independence Square live and then media Bametro TV Paula Domochi ni show live enti obia nje obia meka yo Ghana ni bia oba brema kula panyini obia blasters perform ye football perform #save Ghana football enti ye china demo ni live more fire more fire more fire more fire.
More Fire is in the studio. More Fire is in the studio, and he will be telling us how it's going to happen tomorrow. That's Countryman Songo. He's in the studio to talk to us. Okay, great. Now, we have a documentary to start with. And we were looking at the conversations with people, political analysts, journalists, and all of them, relating to the whole process of selecting two presidential candidates that we now have in John Mahama and Dr. Bawumia to run. So we're tracing the meteoric rise of Dr. Bawumia from the vice president to the unlikely candidate of an Akan-based party, Dankwa Buzia. They are Akan-based, and they've been Akan-based from the time they were born in the 1940s up until now. And so the attempt by Aliyu Mahama to become candidate of the party failed in 2007. And now there was another attempt by Alhaji Muhammadu Bawumia. It looked like a very formidable attempt, but of course it created nerves around in and out, all of that. All the things that have happened, the process even meant that Alan Chemartin left the party and all of that. We put all of that together in a 12-minute documentary. We were patting ourselves on the back that we were able to put this whole big story in 12 minutes. But that was great. We got help from some of our people. You know, we always check with our people, our friends abroad, when we do some work. We send to them, and then they tell us, take this out, take that out. You can get 12 minutes. So I sent it to them. I said, we're looking for 10 to 15 minutes, and they put it together. Our editor did a fantastic job since yesterday. It's ready now for your consumption, and we don't even have a title for it, but I've just given you what is in it. It's only 12 minutes long. After that, we get back into the studio and we run with fire. We're going to deal with the Kwame Nkrumah testimony, which is claiming ownership of babies with sharp teeth, presented in his book, Working with Rawlings. And we will be selling the book to you, Working with Rawlings. We think everybody should get it and read it. If you're a journalist, you're a young person, you want to understand the context of the history of your country. And the language is also very good. Professor Kwame Nkrumah is a great writer. And his command over the language is totally absolute. And so we enjoyed it. We'll share that with you. And then we'll come to our analysis. Countryman Songo is in the studio. All the way from America, Donald Trump is heading to the Supreme Court to determine whether he can run for president or not. H.S. Sikanko will be here to tell us the arguments that have been presented before the U.S. federal court and to show us whether Donald Trump, to tell us if the U.S. Supreme Court agrees with Donald Trump, what is the ramifications thereof? And if the Supreme Court disagrees with Donald Trump, has his political career ended? We're going to get to that discussion. Now, though, 10 of your lives where we are, we're going to show you a film. It's a documentary, and it's a musical documentary. There's a lot of music in it, and we hope that when you have finished watching, we will not have let you down. You will say that it was better than the hype that I gave before the documentary. Congratulations to everybody who helped us do it. We started yesterday in the morning. Around 2 a.m. we left here, and then we came back this morning and tried to complete it. Only 12 minutes. Took us about 17 hours to put together, but we are thankful for it, and we love our job. Here it is. Dr. Bawumia launched his campaign with a speech at the University of Professional Studies last Wednesday, 7th February 2023, to set his presidential campaign alight.
The leader, the flag bearer, the presidential candidate of the New Patriotic Party for the 2024 presidential elections, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia.
Even before he became the nominee, his opponents in the NDC had begun a narrative to suggest that Bawumia was such a distant outsider that he will never be allowed to lead the MPP because he, Bawumia, was a northerner. Here is NDC General Secretary Fifi Kwete.
I feel very sorry for Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. Is that it? All he needs to do is to take a good look at what happened to Alhaji Aliyu Muhammad. Is Mahamudu Bawumia actually dreaming that in the unlikely event of MPP winning power, somehow, after Akufo-Addo had run his term, he, Mahamudu Bawumia, will be made the candidate of the MPP? Are you dreaming, Mahamudu Bawumia? Are you dreaming? You don't know the party in which you are? You don't understand that if you are not an Ashanti or Nachim, you have no chance?
Then came the day of voting, and after weeks of campaigning, and also after the departure of Alan Kyerematen from the MPP party and the campaign and election process, D-Day finally came, and when ballots were counted, history had been made.
It is my great privilege to hand over the flag of the New Patriotic Party to you, Mahamudu Bawumia. There you are.
Thereafter, NDC had been a bit nervous about the Bawumia ticket, but they enjoyed the fact that Alan Kyerematen had left. It had even been widely rumored that Kyerematen was getting funding from one of John Mahama's brothers. It is said that this particular brother is a long-time friend of Alan. He is also a key member of the John Mahama family and a particularly big player in John Mahama's politics. That notwithstanding, the NDC still seemed to be concerned about Dr. Bawumia's agenda and his mission as MPP presidential candidate. The big thorn in NDC flesh is the vote distribution in the north since 2008. Since Dr. Bawumia came onto the MPP ticket as running mate, he, Dr. Bawumia, has been chipping away at the NDC leadership in the north to the point where currently the New Patriotic Party have more northern MPs than the National Democratic Congress. Observers believe that this has been achieved as a result of Dr. Bawumia's hard work and his commitment to increase the northern votes for his party. Now, if this trend continues, the NDC just might have a bitter lesson to learn after 2024's parliamentary election. For this reason, the NDC General Secretary decided to tear down Dr. Bawumia's image before the people of the northern region in a manner that has left a sour taste in everybody's mouth.
God is giving us again an opportunity to make a choice between two people. And these two people happen to come from the northern part of Ghana. One from the Savannah region, the other one from the northeast. Both of them original northern Ghana. Whereas one is known as a liar who can never tell the truth. The other one can be trusted for what he promises to give you. And northern region, you owe it to Ghana to make sure that that son that represents not your best image, that son that represents a disgrace to the north, should never rise to the leadership of this country, because that will be a disgrace to the whole of the northern region. Northern region, you need to do everything possible to ensure that that son of yours, that is an absolute disgrace and a humiliation to all of you, never rises to become the president of this country.
But how does the NDC General Secretary stand in front of northern opinion leaders to tell them that Momoni Bawumia's son, who has been such a conspicuous vice president, who has introduced one village, one dam to the people of the north, who has also secured a $150 million from the World Bank to help northern youth, to help northern children, how is such a leader a disgrace to all northerners? How?
Northern region, you need to do everything possible to ensure that that son of yours, that is an absolute disgrace and a humiliation to all of you, never rises to become the president of this country.
Well, during Dr. Bawumia's speech on 7th February, it is reported that he made allusions to the fact that he was not in charge of the government and that given the same opportunity, he might do certain things differently. He even promised to abolish some taxes that are currently in operation. Upon this, the NDC went to town to say that Dr. Bawumia was actually shirking responsibility, because as far as they are concerned, Bawumia is Akufo-Addo and Akufo-Addo is Bawumia. Not long after the NDC tirade had hit the roof, then social media users were fed with videos that has completely embarrassed the NDC communication. First, it was a post by Chief of Staff under John Mahama, Julius Debra. Mr. Debra was speaking to delegates during the campaign of the 2016 election in Kaleo. Dr. Bawumia was running as the vice presidential candidate for Nana Akufo-Addo, whilst President Mahama was running as the NDC candidate. This is what Julius Debra told them on 29th October 2016. In every moving vehicle, there is someone behind the steer and a driver's mate. The driver determines which direction the car moves. The mate may have a say, but the driver takes the ultimate decision. In this simple analogy, President John Mahama is the driver. Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, a vice presidential candidate, will be the driver's mate should Nana Addo win, and he, Dr. Bawumia, cannot have ultimate power. If he proposes something for you and Nana Addo says later, there's nothing he can do about it. It will seem obvious that Julius Debra was in good company with President Mahama himself. This is what President Mahama actually said about the same situation.
The NDC government has done a lot in 4 years. Our constitution gives presidents 2 terms. Take it that I'm the spare driver or caretaker or whatever. Professor Mills of blessed memory started the process, and I'm finishing his unexpired term. I believe that the NDC government deserves a second term to be able to build on the foundation that it has laid in these 4 years. And I'm certain that Ghanaians would vote for me and turn me from the spare driver that I've been described as into the actual driver of the bus, leading us to the destination that we want to go to.
Well, looks like the NDC had forgotten their own narrative. Another matter that has been raised against Dr. Bawumia is that he comes from a religious minority of Muslim. NDC have touted their candidate John Mahama as Christian, but a recent video that emerged out of the woods showing a dastardly spiritual oath taken by sections of NDC officials has left many confused as to what kind of Christianity that is going on over here. See this video.
this sword, I vow. But if I compromise, and sold my party out, for money, for this coming election, may I die, and my firstborn also die. In my place, so help me God. Amen.
What shall we say to these things? As Apostle Paul said in the book of Romans, if God be for us, who can be against us? Shall I use this opportunity to say, welcome to election 2024. Good luck to all candidates, and may the roads be safe for the candidates, the journalists, the Electoral Commission officials, the police officers, the supporters, the cheerleaders, and especially the foot soldiers. History beckons, and we all expect something great to happen in this election 2024. I can't wait. I bet you can't wait either. Join us now and always for all the information and all the analysis. Good luck.
He is truly the man of the moment, and Ghana must accept him. So this is it. Thank you very much.
Welcome back. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much. But I have this dedication that I cannot escape. I have to do it right now. And I'm saying, I'm sending gratitude and Valentine love to Megoro and Abdul Rahman. Megoro and Abdul Rahman, they have formed something called Crusaders of Good Evening Ghana in Upper West Region. Wow. Please get yourself ready. Come to Accra. Let's come to the studio and tell us what you guys are doing in Upper West Region. So it's Good Evening Ghana Crusaders. They are in Upper West Region, and we are acknowledging them tonight. The group is led by Megoro Abdul Rahman. Okay, that's Good Evening Ghana Crusaders. Yes, so I'm a Good Evening Ghana crusader. You also want to be a Good Evening Ghana crusader. What are we crusading for? We are crusading for the truth, decent politics, and intellectual journalism. What are we crusading for? The truth, decent politics, issue-based politics, and intellectual journalism. That's all. That's what Good Evening Ghana crusade it's about. Let's get to the touchscreen. And so Guta, after the Bawumia speech, we actually used this already, but today they've come with something else that is exciting me, and that's why I want us to look at it. Bawumia's vision, Guta says, okay, let me do this. Bawumia's vision. I am overly excited, this is a Guta boss, says, because this is exactly what I want to hear. It means he has been listening to all the things that we have been saying, Dr. Joseph Obey is saying so. And Guta have gone on to do something else. They have gone on to invoke the social contract, which is exciting to me for all of us who have studied political science. The social contract is particularly exciting. And if you read the social contract, it's just a beautiful book about politics, political association, relationships between government, the prescription for relationship between the people who vote and the people they vote for. That's what is in the social contract. You can get it's by Bertrand Rousseau. He's a French political philosopher who wrote the social contract, Bertrand Rousseau. You can Google it, you find it. Okay, so they are asking for, Guta says they want to sign a social contract with Bawumia on promise to remove taxes. I think this is absolutely brilliant. And this is where we should be taking our politicians. If a politician comes and says, I will do one district, one factory, well, let's sign a social contract with him. At the end of the day, we can find out how many factories he was able to construct. And then we give him a percentage of that. And then we look at the circumstances surrounding his governance. Maybe in the circumstances surrounding his governance, he promised one district, one factory, but he should have been able to do two districts in one factory. Maybe in the circumstances, he promised one district, one factory, but the circumstances that came, he was able to do half of that, quarter of that. We can look at it and understand. I think this must go on. Congratulations to Guta for putting out this social contract with Dr. Bawumia, insisting that Dr. Bawumia says, I'll take these taxes off. Let him come and append his signature to a social contract. Let's see the level of commitment that he has to this project. Fantastic. I really, really love that. And I think that Guta is leading the way in what our politics should become going forward. And as I've already said, whatever happens in election 2024, we are all agreed that Dr. Bawumia's politics is the politics of the future. There's no insults. It's issue-based. It's policy-based. He gives speeches, data-driven. That's what we need to be doing. That's why West Africa and the rest of Africa are applauding Ghanaians in the way we are conducting our politics. It's by and large, because of the things Dr. Bawumia has introduced into our political life. So I like what Guta is adding to it. The politician comes and shows us his idea. He puts his data down. He tells us how he's going to achieve it. We put him to a social contract. Fantastic. I think this is so beautiful. And I don't know why news media did not headline this and headline it and headline it. This is what the news media should be headlining, that an identifiable group has called on the presidential candidate of the ruling party, that the things that you have gone to say at UPSA, you don't say it into the air. Come and sign a social contract with us, because Guta is an important stakeholder in the development of this economy. So if you are talking about important stakeholders who are driving the economy, who are going to drive the GI revenues up, who are going to drive national revenues up, and you say that for you to be able to do this, in terms of policy, I am going to take tax A, B, C, D off your book so that you can drive revenue for Ghana Revenue Authority. They want a social contract. I think that is absolutely fantastic. Congratulations to Guta. Let's clap for them. Okay, we have so much to do tonight. And Countryman Songo is still here in the studio. Yes, I have JJ Rawlings and Mills here. I'm going to talk about them. Let's do some text messages now, and then we'll come to that. So, producer, let's do some text messages. 3 each on the documentary we've just shown, and on our intro, and on the Valentine box over here. And then we come and explain to you why we have former President Rawlings and former President Mills on the screen.
All right. So Derek Upon here says, Paul, no size, succinct documentary, factual, concise, and comprehensive. You will always go for this, Paul. Now, Ebenezer Will says, so the NDC started attacking Bawumia way before Nana Addo won 2016 elections. They knew and saw his might. Lily Rose says, excellent documentary, Paul. We need more of this. Alvin says, the people gathered there were NDC supporters, and that's why Fifi Kwete could speak that way. And then lastly, Cherubim says, whoever chose this tune is a genius. Paul, we need more of this. Kindly twist. What do you have?
All right, so coming from Nana Hesse, he says, a very excellent editorial, maximum salute, Paul. And also coming from Ekuya, she says, spare driver is worse. It means you sit down and wait for a car before you drive, so you are idle. At least a mate is collecting money from passengers. The last one is from Ahmed. He says, please, Paul, we need this video now. NDC will not sleep tonight. Over to you, Andrea.
Okay, on the issue of spare drivers and whatnot, we have in the first place Al Hassan Babamu asking, how is a spare driver the same as a mate? We have Wilberforce responding. He says spare drivers are always careless and wicked compared to lorry mates. I don't know what kind of analogy this is. Anyway, and as Clinton said, the sword video, dear A. Again, we say A. Anyway, Kofi Balfour says Bawumia's vision is precise and on point. They are also critically researched. And on the Valentine's present, as Paul spoke about earlier, we have Nana Kweku JC saying, nice Valentine's gift. Kweku, if you want a gift, say I want it. Don't say it's nice. Let's be specific. Anyway, Alhachi Seidu says, Mr. Paul, you always make your submissions brief. We have from New York City a viewer named Oheneba Kweku saying, hello, Paul and the disciples. I'm enjoying the show from New York City in Brooklyn, Flatbush to be precise. Listening to your show is like listening to a program on Fox and CBS. Continue with your great show. Thank you very much. Anyway, that's it from us, Paul.
Okay, I've just sent the link of the show to the Takoradi viewers. Takoradi viewers are telling me that there's power out in the market circle and some places. And I have a group there. They all gathered in somebody's house, in front of somebody's shop, actually. And they are watching, and they just sent me a text. And they said, you know my number. I've said it already. I can say it again, 779. And they said that they need a link. So I've just sent them the link. So let me know, my guys in Takoradi who are the shop near Market Circle who are watching, whether you have received the link. I've just sent it to you. It's on Facebook. And let's give a call to Energy Minister Matthew Poku Prempeh that people are watching Good Evening Ghana in Takoradi with doom lights. You know, the light is gone off in Market Circle. Yeah, doom light. They are very harassed. They don't know what to do. They were in the middle of the documentary. Okay, Napo is very competent, so I know that he's going to put the lights on. All right. Now, let me give you a secret, viewers. I'll tell you a secret before I go on. Then it's going to happen live on the show tonight. I'm waiting for a phone call. Phone call is going to give me the details of the cabinet reshuffle. I hear there's a meeting going on right now. As soon as they finish, the guy is going to call me. So it's a very important call. So as soon as the call comes, I will take it on live TV. You won't hear him, but you will hear me. I'll repeat some of the things he's saying, then I will show it on the touch screen. So the producer will be listening to me. I told him already that when the phone call comes and I'm talking, because I don't want the person to know I'm talking on TV. So I'll tell him I've taken a break. But if he comes, I have to pick it. And when I mention Asensu Boakye, they'll get his photograph. He's moving to this. Or I mention Minister, this is going to here. I'll get it. It's a sneak preview of what might be happening in the rumors of cabinet reshuffle that you are hearing. You first heard it on Good Evening Ghana. As soon as the phone call comes, I beg you viewers, I have to be unprofessional and take it, and then you hear what happens, because I don't want to miss that phone call. So I'm keeping an eye on my phone. As soon as it comes, I shall grab it, and then we'll see it. It's going to come soon and tonight. He promised me that as soon as the meeting is over, he'll give me a call. He's a very, very good friend of mine. He's going to give me the sneak preview of what we are likely to see if a cabinet reshuffle were to occur. Okay, let's get back onto the touch screen. With Takoradi ready, with the Upper West ready, with Greater Accra region ready, Ghana ready. Let's go on to this one. Fantastic. Those of you who saw the middle of the documentary, we'll show it again. It's only 12 minutes. We'll find time to show it again on the show tonight. Okay. So during the era of President Rawlings, and those of you who have been covering politics for a while, like me, you'll remember the political discourse. Sometimes we show the MPP Congress of the 1996 election, the primaries of 1996, to depict how politics used to be. It was decent. It was high-profile conversation. It was very technical. Rawlings himself didn't say much, but the people who spoke for him and wrote, in those days they used to write. Valerie Saki, may she rest in peace. She died recently. Shirley Abebio, they were running communications for Mr. Rawlings. They would write articles in the Statesman. Nana Akufo-Addo will write an article in the Statesman addressing J.J. Rawlings. And when Victor Newman wanted to say something to Nana Akufo-Addo, he would write a letter. That's what they used to do. They used to write, you know. So that's how it used to be. And then sometime in 2004, after 2004 elections, going into 2008, this whole vitriol started, where insults were heard on radio for the first time and everybody was taken aback. What is going on? It initially started from one side. And then the other side, who didn't participate in the beginning, felt that, look, they are losing because they are not insulted. So they fired back. You two, you are this. You two, you are that. And that created a whole different kind of political discourse leading up to 2008 election. It was in that process that somebody can say, this presidential candidate is a cocaine dealer. He likes cocaine, and it was terrible. Fifi Kwete went to parliamentary vetting in 2009, and he was asked that the things that you said during the campaign, he had to apologize. He had to eat humble pie and apologize to the parliament that it was just politicking. All the things he had said about some cripple in Chebi and all of that, it was untrue. Fifi Kwete admitted before the parliament that what he said was untrue. But the real part that really, really offended people was when younger people will call an older person names because of politics, like what Fifi Kwete was doing. Dr. Bawumia is a disgrace. He's a disgrace. What did he mean by that? You can attack Dr. Bawumia's policy. You can say Dr. Bawumia is incompetent. Look at what he's done as vice president. He's incompetent. He cannot run this nation. But you don't tell them he's a disgrace without explaining it. And you are talking to opinion leaders in the north, and you are telling them that Mumuni Bawumia's son is a disgrace. What is wrong with it? Why do we do that? But whilst we were doing our research here last night for some other projects, which you hear about soon, somebody found in Ahoy's book and said, we are sitting on this table. So this here is here. This is Kwame Ahoy talking about. I said, bring it, let me see it. Oh, at that time, I was feeling good, because I like when the research produces results, it is just beautiful. There's nothing like that. When you have a treasure trove of research material and you look into one of them and you get such fantastic results, who doesn't like that? We love this. So we're going to share with you. So the story is told, and this is where I want you to start, my lady. The story is told that J.J. Rawlings, after Professor Mills had been elected in 2008, and he had been elected with the support of Rawlings, we all remember that. Rawlings had been very instrumental in the conduct of the elections in 2008. We all remember that. J.J. Rawlings had been unhappy that Professor Mills had not jailed MPP people for whatever reason. Of course, we know that Rawlings' background is not law. Professor Mills' background is law. Professor Mills took the view that on the basis of the law, it was going to be very difficult to jail person X or person Y. We can do political propaganda with the information, but in terms of the court processes, to establish the high standard of proof in criminal trial, it was going to be very complicated. So he was hesitating in going about this. He tried to do something with the Commission of Inquiry on the Ghana at 50, but that's about it. He couldn't really find much. JJ was not understanding. He was unrepentant about this. For this reason, he was making tales about Professor Mills in his public speaking. And he had gone to Tamale, and we all remember, those of us who remember, called Professor Mills Atamochi man and all kinds of things. He didn't quite directly insult him, but you could tell that he was making fun of the president, his predecessor. In Kwame Nkrumah's book, he tells us the story about how all of these things turned out. In fact, we learned, and I learned from Kwame Nkrumah's book last night, that Professor Mills actually had written a resignation to resign as president of Ghana. Can you imagine what that would have been? That was in 2010. John Mahama would have been president in 2010. And John Mahama would have been president until 2012. And he would have contested elections again. If Mills had left the seat unceremoniously, something would have happened. To that extent, we have to praise the names that you will see in the story for holding Mills down and insisting that Mills doesn't resign and developing a strategy that will help Mills not to resign. But what did that strategy do for the rest of Ghanaian political discourse is what we are worried about. We're going to discuss it. So this is a beautiful story, which is told in this book, Working with Rawlings, Kwame Nkrumah. What page is it? Okay, we'll get the page for you very quickly. We'll get the page for you. But here is the story. On Friday evening, after the Tamale Congress, President Mills called me on the phone. I was attending an IEA-sponsored workshop at Eburi in the Eastern region. President Mills asked me whether I had heard the things that Rawlings had said about him to the smaller group of NDC loyalists that he had met in Tamale after the Congress. When I replied in the negative, he said, quote, Kwamena, then try and get the audio and listen to it. I have been humiliated enough. I can't take it anymore. So I have decided to resign as president. Wow, this is heavy. This is heavy. This is heavy. Let's move on. It goes on. I have already started packing my things. Don't try to talk me out of it because my mind is made up. I am only telling you out of respect because you, Kwamena, were the one who got me into this in the first place. Now, I'm reading this part with emphasis because we have a testimony for that. When Professor Mills says that Kwame Nkrumah is the one who got him into this politics in the first place, there's a testimony for that. There's a video that Kwame Nkrumah has given us indicating what Professor Mills is saying. So we'll show you that video in a minute. But this is Professor Mills talking. He says that you, Kwame Nkrumah, you were the one who got me into this in the first place. So Kwame Nkrumah is now speaking. The quotation has ended. Kwame Nkrumah says, I panicked, but I responded in a calm tone. Quote, he said, please, Mr. President, I am sure if you didn't want me to talk you out of it, you would not have called me. I would have heard about your resignation on air. I believe you that you have decided to resign, but I am sure you are not sure you are doing the right thing. So you want a second opinion. Please let me consult with my gang and get back to you. I love this. I just love this. It's page what? I didn't see it. 210, page 210 of the book. Page 210 of the book. That's where it is. Working with Rawlings. Please get one. When I finish, I'll sell the book nicely. People need to buy the book for Kwame Nkrumah. I have bought 7 copies. I want to buy another 7. But people need to buy the book. So, and when I wanted the copies, I called Mr. Ahoy directly. He showed me where it is. Somewhere in Laboni. That's why I went for it. So you can call him. He's a very open guy. You can call Mr. Ahoy that you want the book. Buy 40 copies, 200, 60. Joy FM, go and buy 500. City FM, buy. Metro, we're going to buy. Let's buy the book and let our people read it. Let's read it. Okay. All right. Let me get back to the story. So he says his gang. This is the part I like. He said, please let me consult with my gang. Who is the gang? In the next paragraph, you see the names of some of the gang members. He left his brother Ato Ahoy out of the gang list. But the gang, we know them. He calls them gang. We call them Fancy Confederacy. Rawlings calls them, I don't know. I don't know what Rawlings calls them. But he says gang. We say Fancy Confederacy. Okay. So he said, let me consult with my gang and get back to you, unquote. And he writes that Professor Mills agreed. Okay, let's move on. Who is the gang? This is the gang. Oh, viewers, please listen. Immediately, I called Captain Kojo Chikata, gang number 1 member, and briefed him about my conversation with President Mills. We, that is Kwamena and Captain Chikata, agreed that we needed to meet with President Mills urgently and that I should rope in gang number 2, Kofi Totobi Kwachi. Gang number 2, rope in Kofi Totobi Kwachi into the meeting. After consulting with Totobi Kwachi, I managed to get President Mills to agree to a meeting with the 3 of us on Sunday evening. Fantastic. This is where the story begins. Let's get it. Come Sunday evening, and we were at Castle around 6 p.m. as agreed. There was every sign that President Mills had indeed decided to resign. He had packed many of his belongings in suitcases and card boxes, and many others were strewn on the seats in the hall, ready for packing. Viewers, is that not a great story? So we are sitting in Accra. We didn't know on that Sunday that if nothing had happened, Monday would have had an announcement that Professor J.E.A. Mills, President of Ghana, has resigned his position as president as a result of abuse from Flight Lieutenant Rawlings. This is the story. This is what was going to break. What were we going to do as Ghanaians? What was Nana Akufo-Addo's response going to be? What was the Speaker of Parliament going to say? John Dramani Mahama would have been sworn in immediately as President of Ghana. He would have had to nominate another president. Professor Mills would have gone home as former President of Ghana. This is an interesting story. It is in a book. Okay, let's go on. Let's move on. We must have spent about 4 hours with President Mills. Fantastic. Congratulations to Kojo Chikata, Totobi Kwachi, Kwamena Ahoy, and whoever else was there whose names wasn't mentioned. And I know who I'm talking about, but the person's name was not mentioned, so you can't say it. But I know who it is. So congratulations to Kofi Totobi Kwachi, Kwamena Ahoy, Captain Chikata, and all the others who were there to support this cause to keep the president in office in spite of the abuse. Let's move on. We must have spent about 4 hours with President Mills. In the end, he agreed not to resign, and we agreed to take steps to ensure that Rawlings stopped his public humiliation of President Mills or reduced it significantly. Great. Now the detail. They say the devil is in the detail. This is the detail. The strategy we adopted to achieve this objective was simple enough. From our knowledge of President Rawlings, we knew that he could not stand being talked back by people he considered his subordinates. This must have been due to his military background, because in the military, the subordinates never talk back to his superior officer. I'm not so sure, from what I know about Rawlings, that this description of him is correct. I don't think Kwamena Ahoy is right. It is true that in the military, you don't talk back at your bosses, and that Rawlings was a military man. But if you look at the characterization of J.J. Rawlings, he wasn't that kind of person. Everybody could talk to him. So I'm not so sure about this part. Because Rawlings was not that. I have dealt with Rawlings. Rawlings was not that kind of person. I've seen Rawlings in his office in the company of Tony Edu and Victor Smith. I've had conversations with him. I have photographs I can show you. He wasn't that kind of person. This assertion, anybody, especially the soldiers, the other ranks, the junior ranks who knew Rawlings, will challenge this assertion, because J.J. Rawlings was certainly not like that. He was not the kind of person that you cannot approach, or that you cannot talk to, or that you cannot argue with, or that you cannot engage with. He was not like that. I'm not sure. Yes, he was a military man, but I think I have to enter this caveat based on my own information about my relationship with Flight Lieutenant Rawlings. Not a great relationship, but about my knowledge of his work and what I heard about him growing up in Burma camp, everything I heard about Rawlings. It doesn't represent this one. But anyway, let's move on. This must have been due to his military background, he says, because in the military, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's go. So what we decided was that anytime President Rawlings attacked or insulted President Mills publicly, one of the younger members of the party, he chose younger members of the party. Sorry, we have a typo in there. Those of you who are reading it meticulously, there's a typo there. Instead of younger, we wrote anger. One of the younger members of the party. Now, this is the problem. Why did Kwamena Ahoy Totobi Kwache and Kojo Chikata decide that in their strategy to stop Rawlings, they have to use a younger member of the party. Totobi Kwache himself could have spoken back to Rawlings and said that we disagree with J.J. Rawlings. Atukwashi could have done that. They could have had Joyce Ayi to do that. They could have had Christina Mwaku Noma to do that. They could have had Kwame Pepra to do that. Why did they want to use younger members? That's where the problem began. And that is why you have to fault Kwame Nkrumah's strategy for delivering to Ghanaian political discourse something that is a complete anathema to the culture of the Ghanaian people, where young people are insulting people because of politics. We can't do that. And this is the culture that has now created radio and television programs where all they do is they are insulting. So much so that on Good Evening Ghana, one of our flyers, we have to say, Good Evening Ghana, no insults, no prejudice. We didn't need to say that. Why must the television program say that we don't insult people? Because the culture of decadence has come to Ghana. It is so bad, and it is because of Kwame Nkrumah, Totobi Kwache, and Captain Chikata, who took a decision that Sunday that they were going to get younger members of the NDC to attack Flight Lieutenant Rawlings. Younger. But why? NDC has so many people. Gameli Podugbe is there. He could have spoken about Rawlings. Guzi Tano is there. He could have spoken about Rawlings. Mijebano is there. They could have spoken about Rawlings. All the intelligent people, Alban Bagbin was around at the time. He could have spoken about Rawlings. Why did they think they had to use younger people? That was a bad decision. And it's a decision that we now have to spend so many years to reverse and to correct, because it has delivered to Ghanaian political discourse something that is an anathema to our culture, the disrespect for adults and the insulting language that people use on other people for the reason and the cause of politics. It is very, very wrong. Okay. So he says that they decided that they have the younger members of the party will take him on publicly. Not with insults, he says, but with logic. I think that here again, I'd like to get into the mind of Kwame Nkrumah, the writer. He had to put these insults there because he was aware that people who read this were going to be critical of his decision and were going to be critical of his thought that birthed this culture. So he quickly put there not with insults, but it turned out that they were insulting. They were particularly insulting. I'll show you a photograph of the people who did that. They were particularly insulting. Okay, he says not with insults, but with logic. All right, he continues. It worked, and the strategy proved effective. Rawlings toned down on his public criticisms of President Mills. Instead, he turned his anger on the young boys and girls who were talking back at him whenever he criticized President Mills publicly. He described them at a public rally as babies with sharp teeth. The name stuck, but the presidency of Professor Mills was saved. Which one should we pick? Kwame Nkrumah set out to save Professor Mills's presidency, for which we congratulate him, because it would have been a disaster for all of Ghana. It's not about NDC. It would have been a disaster for all of Ghana that your president says, I'm resigning because Rawlings is attacking me. But when I looked at it, I wondered, maybe that those days are different. You see, viewers, I think you get what I'm saying. Today, if Professor Mills says he's resigning because Rawlings is insulting him, everybody will laugh at him. But it's symptomatic of the culture of the day that Professor Mills felt that this insult is too much, I have to leave, because our culture is not like that. Today, the culture has been so polluted that if people are insulting people and you say you want to resign because they are insulting you, everybody will laugh at you. It's symptomatic of the Ghanaian culture of the day that Professor Mills felt that for Rawlings calling him an Atamochi man in the grand narrative, it was enough for him to resign, that Rawlings was harassing him. That is how, because the culture there was not about that. You don't even make jokes about people in authority like that. You can tell them that they've done something wrong. You can criticize their policy, but you don't even do that. So I was listening to this narrative in my own head, and I said, but Rawlings too said, me, I've been talking Kwasi Asem, Adumoche, Okan Kwasi Asem. I couldn't be bothered. We came back here on this program not to respond to Rawlings, but what did we do? When the video is there, we actually came to apologize to Rawlings. When Rawlings spoke about Good Evening Ghana and my person at a public June 4th rally and said that I'm a small boy and I've been talking in Kwasi Asem, as he put it, we came back on the show for who he is. We said we are sorry, but we stand by the position that it was his government that destroyed Ghanaian businesses. This is what I said, and he was upset. That it was JJ's government that destroyed Ghanaian businesses. He was unhappy with it. And then he went to the podium and said that they should come and ask what those people were doing, why their business was destroyed. And that small boy, okay, Kwasi Asem, fair enough. We came here, we said, JJ, we are sorry, but we stand by the position because the data and the record will show that it was your government that exited Ghanaian businesses from doing their work. So you don't tell people, young people, to insult Rawlings. That's what Kwame Nkrumah, Totobi Kwache, Captain Chikata, that's what they did. And they are responsible for polluting the political discourse of this country. Journalists should be analyzing this and discussing where we are coming from. NCC, this is where we are coming from. Catherine, this is where we are coming from. We are coming from the thought processes produced by intelligent minds. Kwame Nkrumah, Totobi Kwache, Kojo Chikata, very intelligent minds. And on that Sunday, God did not help Ghana. They decided to take a decision that has ruined our political discourse. This is how leaders can ruin your discourse. And that is why choosing leaders is not a matter of a joke. And that is why choosing leaders is not out of anger and hunger. No, choosing leaders is a choice for the future. Choosing leaders is not a choice about satisfying my ego and satisfying my emotion. You can do that if you want. But if you don't choose leaders for the future, it will come back to bite you. There's no escaping in that. It's like the Bible verse that says that, do not be deceived, for whatever a man soweth, that is what he will reap. That scripture starts with, do not be deceived, because it knows that many will be deceived that you can sow blue and raise red. You can sow white. No. The Bible says, do not be deceived, that whatever a man soweth, that is what he will reap. So you see, the choice of political leaders is not a choice about my emotion. Yes, we all are emotional. We all do that. We are all given to doing that. I am given to doing that, voting according to my emotion. But we must always remember that a choice of election is a choice for the future of yourself and your family, your country, your company, your corporation, all of that. That's the choice that we are making. Now, this is what has happened. 3 people, intelligent leaders, Kwame Nkrumah, Totobi Kwache, Captain Kojo Chikata, decided to make a decision that young boys, small boys, I apologize for the word, small boys should go and insult Rawlings, and that has now seeped into our culture. This is what we have. Here are the principal actors. Oh, you didn't have Captain Chikata. Here are the principal actors. Here are the principal actors. Kwame Nkrumah, to save Professor Mills's presidency, together with Totobi Kwache, decided that Felix Ofosu Kwache, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, who was maybe 29 or 25, Dr. Omane Boama, who was maybe 27 or 28, Sammy Gyamfi was not even there. Sammy Gyamfi was not there. Can you imagine the viewers? Sammy Gyamfi was not there at the time. He must have been in JSS. This is 2010. Sammy Gyamfi was not there. But Sammy Gyamfi has come into a culture. And it's a culture created by Kwame Nkrumah and Totobi Kwache, intelligent men as they are. They did a lot of good for Ghana. Actually, they saved Professor Mills's presidency. Excellent. But the method with which they decided on that Sunday evening to save Professor Mills's presidency has destroyed our political discourse. These are the men that J.J. Rawlings called babies with sharp teeth because he felt that they were insulting. And J.J. Rawlings in that video, we don't have it, we can get it for you. He said that the way they will insult you, that's how he started the narrative. He said the kind of insults that comes out of their mouth. That's what J.J. Rawlings said. Why were insults coming out of their mouth? Because they were backed by people who were bosses. They were backed by Kwame Nkrumah. They were backed by Totobi Kwache. Dr. Omane Boama, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, Felix Ofosu Kwache. They owe us some explanations. They owe us some explanations. Because this thing that they did, it has the political discourse of our society, even Nigeria. Sorry for me to say even, because they're the African champions. But Nigeria is not like that. You go to Nigerian social media, it's not like that. Nigeria recently ran an election, it's not like that. They don't do, excuse me to say, Abua Kwasiai, they don't do that in Nigeria. They don't. Go and check Nigerian social media and flip to Ghana social media. Everybody is insulted so that somebody creates a television video program just to insult people. And we are watching. Where did we come from? Were we like that in 1969? Where is the aspirational society that we used to have? Why did we become the Black Star of Africa? Why? We are still the Black Star of Africa. We are still the leaders of Africa. But we don't want the world to know about this problem. That is why the NCCE should be interested in this matter. Totobi Kwache, Kwame Nkrumah, Captain Kojo Chikata, they created this problem. And who is telling us that they created the problem? Kwame Nkrumah, in his testimony, is telling us they created the problem. I'll leave it here. Is there something else on this one that I shouldn't forget? Okay, I'll leave it here. We just getting ready for a break now. I'll leave it here. And maybe we'll take the comments from social media, what people are saying. But this is a problem. This is a real problem that we need to deal with. Oh, yes, there's something. I'd like to take you back, and this is not part of it, madam. I'd like to take you back to when Professor Mills said to Kwame Nkrumah in the book that he's calling Kwame Nkrumah about his resignation because it was Kwame Nkrumah who took him into this thing in the first place. Here's a video recorded in 2016. When I went to Mr. Ahoy's house, I begged him for the interview. He told me that he was writing a book. He doesn't want to talk about these things before the book, but I begged him, and he agreed. This is what he told us.
Harry Sawyer was the Minister of Education, and he brought a memo to Cabinet asking us to reverse the decision of the University Council, and appoint Professor Mills because he was much better. And he extolled his virtues. In the middle of it, somebody told him that in this constitution, the government doesn't appoint the vice chancellor, it's the University Council, so it cannot be done. But he was very, very emotional about it. And the more he spoke about it, the more I said, Obed Asamoah was in the meeting, but he left before the meeting ended. So as soon as the meeting ended, I dashed to his office. He was Attorney General at the time. I said, Obed, it's Professor Mills that Harry Sawyer was talking about. Don't you think he's the person that we are looking for? Obed said, Jesus Christ, Kwame, you are right. He's brilliant. I taught him. Yes. Why hasn't anybody thought about him? So he called Rollins on phone, and they spoke in Ewe, which I didn't understand. And then Jerry said, Kwame, I know the man. I have met him. He's IRS coming. Go to his house. Whatever it takes today, I want him as a candidate.
That was Kwame Nkrumah doing a yeoman's job for the NDC government at the time and in those days. 22 minutes past the hour, 10 o'clock. My production people are now telling me that you need to adjust, boss. You need to adjust. The way you're going, Countryman Songo is here. We need to adjust. So we might be adjusting and taking something out. Let's take a short breather with the text messages, and then we'll make our quick decisions at the back of the production, and then we go on. I'm still expecting that call, so don't go anywhere. Fatih, what are people saying?
So Vincent Ofori says, Kwame Nkrumah was left with no choice but to set up the babies with sharp teeth to protect President Mills. Their simple role was to serve as a deterrent to President Rawlings and anyone who was seeking to make President Mills uncomfortable. As a student of campaigning and elections, I can boldly say it was a strategic decision, and anyone who handles a president or serves in the kitchen cabinet of a president would have done more than what the gang did. Although I'll agree that every political deterrent that outstays its usefulness could be harmful to society in our case. It resurrected insults. Mr. Ahoy's strategy worked perfectly, and he gave President Mills some peace to run this government until his maker called him. Anyway, I saluted them. Kweku Owusu says, Paul, you are super intelligent. Congratulations to your entire team and producers. I hope I could find the words to define you. Please, I'm learning a lot from you. Now, Godi Adjujemfi says, now we know where the babies with sharp teeth originated from. If they continue on this trajectory of heaping insults on political opponents, they will lose the elections again. And lastly, Elom says, I understand why the babies with sharp teeth were insulting Rawlings those days. Oh my God. What do you have for?
All right, coming from...
Let me take some messages that I'm getting here. It's get exciting. Right. I feel very pampered when people are telling me nice things like that. All right, this is from UK. It says, we are glued to TV set in Enfield. Hey, Enfield, how are you? My Tottenham people, I miss you so much. I'll be coming there very, very soon. Okay, this one, I won't mention her name. Doc, thank you very much for the message. It says, very good program. My sentiments exactly on the insults. It's terrible. Thanks for calling it as it is. Martin Peebles' insult on Anado is another sad one. A lawyer of his standing. No decorum at all. Don't they worry that their family is watching them? Your documentary on Bawumia was great. Song is just apt. Well done. Hey, Doc, thank you. Thank you very much. Our boss is in Holland, so he's coming soon. Thank you, Doc. Thank you, Doc. It's always a pleasure. All right. This is another one also from UK. It says that it is now clear that babies with sub-T tag Rawlings gave them was appropriate because their actions were not only premeditated but carefully planned to get back at Rawlings. Sadly, while Rawlings was swimming through the dust of campaign to get Atamils elected, Ahoy and his team did little or nothing for Mills' election. What a shame. To the extent that Omani Boama can sit on television and tell Rawlings to shut up. The sad aspect of this narrative is that nobody votes for the NDC by looking at the influence of Ato Ahoy and his family, influence that Ato Ahoy and his family had on the NDC. Don't be surprised when you see Sami Jenfi insulting Dr. Bawumia on television today. He's probably commissioned by the same old political cabal. So many messages coming on this one. You are live in the Siakwa, says our blind historian. Dodu, thank you very much. Yes, Dodu told me that he's reminding me that today we need to celebrate some important events. Dodu is a historian. He says it's 40 years ago since we buried Krobo Edusei, and it's 7 years ago since we buried Apiamik. And we'll do that. We'll do that. We'll do that. Okay. Another message from Parliament. One of my people in Parliament says, "Good evening, Senior. Really enjoying the evening's program. I have been buying this book with my mouth. I need one badly. Oh, Simon, I'll get you a copy of the book. Don't worry. Simon, you have a copy with me. Tomorrow, call me. I'll get you a copy. Mr. Kwame, I'll be calling you for more copies. I beg. I'll be calling you for more copies. Okay, which other one? Kwekubu Afajiman is in Ghana. Thank you very much for coming and welcome. We'll have a nice time in Ghana with you. Hey. Kwekubu Afajiman, did you come with a coffee show? Sorry, viewers, that is personalizing my relationships on television. I apologize. Okay, another one says, Paul, I think Kwame Ahoy actually meant talk back in terms of disrespecting Rawlings, of which President Rawlings, can't take. Okay, no problem. We are going to deal with it. There's one thing I need to say about Master Planner Jr. says, today I heard one of the babies with sharp teeth calling Dr. Bawumia a useless vice president, but the MPP communicator kept him at his level. Master Planner Jr., thank you very much for that message. We need to change this culture. It is not a very good culture at all. Okay, let me go back. Mikael, are you the one reading? Okay, yes, please, go on.
All right. So, coming from Zenikina, he says, I have finished reading this book. Prof. Kwame is a good storyteller. Working with Rawlings is a story well told by Prof. I disagree with some aspects of the book, though. And Elom says, the quote of the year, choosing leaders is not about hunger or anger. It's a choice about the future, by Paul Adomotri. God bless you, Paul, for always lifting up the political discourse of our great country. And Frank says, Paul Adomotri, you should try doing ministry of Christ. You can be a very good preacher and save many into the kingdom. Wait on the Lord in prayer and give it a thought.
It's on the cards. It's on the cards. Those of you who don't know, it's on the cards. My preaching mission to deliver people into salvation is on the cards. I'm just waiting for Pastor Otabel to anoint me properly and set me into it, and then I'll start. So if you want me to start, please tell Pastor Otabel. The day he tells me, stop TV and come and start, I shall start. Right. Okay, move on.
Lastly, coming from Nana Kwame, he says, good job, Paul. Truly, Sabi Jenfi is full of insults. Say it louder. Please try and make your documentary available for sharing. God bless you. Angelo.
Okay, so first we've got Lord from London asking, was Fifi Kwete part of the sharp-toothed babies? And Sir Bright from Tantra Hill says, Paul, you see your journalist colleagues miss this crucial information of resignation because it was buried in a book. Cerebral work is indeed difficult, very mischievous. Anyway, back to you, Paul.
Okay, so let me say this quickly about the book, and then we'll get ready for our break. Viewers, wait. Hello? Are they? Everything cool? So where are we? Okay. So they're not gonna do press release. They're not gonna do press release. They go right to the speaker direct. Okay, give me right now. Okay. So the big ones be which one? Health. I didn't listen, I beg. Interior. Finance. Hey, the finance matter, there be big matter. Oh. I tell you, Akufo-Addo be show boy. I tell you, finance. So health insurance, finance, and which one? Roads. Hey, what happened for roads? But who they go there? Hey, that be big matter. Oh, that be nice. Then who they go health? Oh, that be the best. That be the best I hear. But that one, the Lejokuku MP, he go fear. But he was deputy there. He was deputy. But where on a man they go? On a man information. Oh, that be nice. They don't do the other one anymore. The GFA. So it won't make them GFA matter. No be sports matter. GFA. So they go, okay. That'd be nice. So who will replace them for information? Wow. No, I did break. Oh, no, I don't go talk. I did break. So what we expect? But it knocked 10. You said the thing maybe tonight or tomorrow. It knocked 10 past. Okay. No problem. Charlie, that be solid. Hey, wait, I forget something. What about energy? No issues. Land, Abu. No issues. Which other one again? Hey, I forget too. Give me the regional ministers inside. Oh, some deputies inside. Oh, okay. That'd be cool. Thank you. We go talk. I no go mention your name. Leave me alone. Bye. Okay, viewers. Yes. Let me put my thing back. Viewers, thank you very much for allowing me to pick a phone call. But after the break, I'll tell you. Let me take the book and do my thing. After the break, I'll give you the details because I need to put the photographs together with my team, and then we'll sort it out and give you the details. But it looks like the cabinet reshuffle is going to happen. It looks like it's going to happen. Ultimately, finally, it's going to happen. So, okay, text messages are coming. Now, the reason why I want to just do this one before we take the break, and Countryman Songo is coming after that. You see, viewers, somebody said it in the text, because I think the last text you read. I've always been saying that if you're a journalist, just take the book and read it. You see how we got a story? We just went to page 210, and we got a story. We got content. This is content for television. Kwame Nkrumah has written plenty things in this book. Obed Asamoah has written a book that is 3 times this size. Emil Short has written a book about his time as Sraj. Kwame Donkofojo has written a book. Kwame Nkrumah has written so many books, of which we have shared content here. You just take a book and read it, you have content. That's what it is about. Why are we lacking content as media? Because we are not reading. We want to put camera on our body. So if you're a young journalist, don't put camera on your body. That doesn't give you a story. That gives you a story that will disgrace you, to embarrass you. Read the account and generate a story out of it. In fact, if I were a young reporter, out of this, I can generate plenty stories. I can go to NCCA, get them an interview. I can go to Shraj, that Kwame Nkrumah said this. I can go to the Speaker of Parliament. I can generate a whole gamut of narrative. And then eventually I'll tell my television station to do a symposium at the Alisa Hotel about how we can change Ghanaian political discourse and invite Kwame Nkrumah. City TV, if you are listening to me, take it up. Invite Kwame Nkrumah to come and explain why he did that, what it meant. Does he agree that this has have a panel? I'll be the host. I ask Kwame Nkrumah questions that, do you agree that this has changed the Ghanaian political discourse? Let's compare with other countries. Let's look at India. Let's look at South Africa. Let's look at the United Kingdom. Bring these experts there to Alisa Hotel. And then out of one story, you have generated news that will benefit the society. Not to put a camera on your body and go and film some people and become a hero and Ghana football is dead for it. That's not journalism. That's mercenary work. Read the book. After the break, Countryman Songo. Okay, should I start with the reshuffle? Okay, it's more is coming. They're sending me more. So it appears that it looks like the reshuffle might eventually occur. All right, now it's time for the action. Let me try and name the Black Star squad. The last time they won the African Cup of Nations. Some of us were born in 1982. Some of you were not born, so we are envious of those of us who were born and we saw the Black Stars lift the cup, and it was on black and white television, and the small boy you are sitting in between your father's legs, and your father's brother is sitting with him, and your mother's brother is also there, and the other children are there, and they are all watching, and there's tension. and the Black Stars came out. Owusu Mensah was in goal. Countryman Songo, correct me if I'm wrong. Owusu Mensah was in goal. I believe it was Haruna Yusuf, the right back, Kwesi Appiah. And then in the middle was the Hazakas people, Paha, the captain, something like that. I don't remember that Papako played in that game, but John Essien was on the right. And then in the middle of midfield was Albert Asase. The striker was George Al-Hassan. Opoku didn't play that game for some reason. George Al-Hassan was the striker. I believe Kofi Abre played on the left. On the left wing. I don't know whether it was Kofi Abre or Francis Kumi, but one of them played on the left. And that's the team I remember. Owusu Mensah was in goal. We all remember Owusu Mensah because of the penalty shootout. And of course, we all remember Asase because he scored a great penalty. That was in 1940 Ghana. Now we have achieved some successes. The Black Stars have seen some successes in the recent past. Principal among them is our World Cup participation in Germany in 2006, which was our first World Cup. We went into that tournament. We were in the group of the winners. Italy beat us by 2-0 in the opening game. Italy were the eventual winners. So credit to us for that. We played a very good game. I was in the stadium that day. It was fantastic in Germany. And then the second game was actually very, very nice. That's where we went in. Asamoah Gyan did what he does best. He scored an early goal. And I believe Sule Muntari scored as well. And we got 2-0 against the Czech Republic, who were the second best rated team in the world at the time. They had Peter Cech, the Chelsea goalkeeper, who was catching every ball. On that day, he couldn't catch 2 of our balls. At the end of the game, we all at the stadium observed Michael Essien running very hard to Peter Cech to console him. They had a hug and an embrace, they exchanged jerseys, and all of us were very delighted with that when we saw Michael Essien do that. Back then at Metro Team, we had a fantastic coverage of that World Cup, and I was right there in the center. I'm so excited to recollect. But what has become of the Black Stars? This is the first time that sports journalists who are principal stakeholders in Ghana football, I mean, you can't talk of Ghana football historically without talking about Kofi Bedu, Ken Bediako, Kwabena Yeboah, Joe Agri. These are the people who have made our football. Our sports journalists have been top-notch for a very, very long time historically. And they have had major influence on our football. They had influence on Haas. They've had influence on Kotoko. Positive influence all the time. Changing managers, changing coaches. They've had influence on the Black Stars. But this is the first time that they have decided to take their influence, join Ghanaians on the street to ask questions of the Ghana Football Association. It is my pleasure to tell you about Countryman Songo, who's been on this show before. And anytime he comes on the show, we have record views because he's fireman. He's always in Red Ojan's show. Let me start with a montage. What Countryman Songo did earlier here in our studios earlier. Let's have a look at that video again. Here it is.
Live. We a beautiful demonstration, demo live. I am Bastono Brassport and Chinamapa 9 AM Pepe na ye chassis and I'm from a Brassport Circle 9 AM Pepe near the Apo Independence Square live and 9 media Bametro TV Paula Domochi ni show live it will be a Jay Nubia Mekayo Ghana Libya Oba Bema Club Penini Ubia Blasters perform your football perform hashtag Save Ghana Football 80 China Demoni live more fire more fire more fire more fire.
Writes to me and says, Paul, I'm happy it is today that Countryman Songo is in your studio that you are touching on this pertinent subject matter. Please advise him that words like Jimmy Kwasiafo, Kan, Moa. Oh, Countryman Songo, do you say some of this?
Has he ever listened to me on this show before?
Yes, I have.
Has he listened to me on this show?
No, he hasn't. He hasn't. But he says I should say. His name is Osehia Prempeh.
Everything about what
he says I'm not reading his message because he's not coming from Europe. He's in Ghana here. No?
Everything about me is professional.
It's professional, isn't it?
Very professional. Countryman,
let me introduce
when he stinks, he stinks.
Our new man.
Yeah.
Boss, good evening. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
How are you? What's on your placard?
My placard says demo. John S. 14.
I saw you with some policeman in a video reel going on. A policeman was showing you something on the phone.
Yeah.
Was he arresting you? What was it?
No, it was the road map. He was showing me the road map, how the demonstration will take from the start to the end.
So where are we starting?
We're starting from a Brasport circle. Then we'll end at Independence Square. That's where we're going.
And present petition to whom?
To the president of the land and also to...
At Independence Square?
There will be a representative.
Oh, the president will have a rep there. Then he will take the petition.
Somebody will represent there.
Okay.
Then also the same parliament, and then also the sports ministry and the FA themselves.
Oh, you go to the FA as well?
There will be somebody to take their...
Oh, they are all expected to come to Independence Square?
Yeah,
to come and take the petition. Okay. Petition. This is not the first time Ghana has exited the tournament, AFCON tournament, at the group stages.
Yeah.
What is the point of this demonstration?
The GFA is useless.
That's the point of this demonstration?
Nothing good has come out of them.
Which GFA?
The Ghana Football Association.
Ketokreko's GFA?
Yes.
So Kwesi Nyantakyi's GFA was better than Ketokreko's GFA?
I'm now talking about Ket Okreko.
Okay, and you said the GFA is useless?
Of course.
Why?
Football has been on its knees for years.
Why is the GFA? How do you know the GFA is useless? Why do you say that?
Of course, because there are no results. I mean, football is about results. And I mean, since he took over, what are his achievements? You understand? I mean, what do we see out of his achievement?
Let's talk about results. If you go to a tournament, I think the main result you're looking for is to win the trophy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nigeria did not win the trophy. I've seen photographs and videos of a rousing welcome that the people of Nigeria gave the Super Eagles. They didn't achieve any results.
They are better players than us as of now.
Yeah, but they didn't get the cup.
That is not the issue here. I mean, they are better players than us. At least they were in the tournament with the finals.
Yes.
You understand? They made their supporters or their, let's say, Nigerians happy at least.
They did. Many times in the tournament.
Many times in the tournament.
Yeah.
But it can't happen that you go to Cameroon, AFCON, then you play 3 matches without a win, you exit. Then you come back to the World Cup, 3 matches, you exit. You won't learn anything. Then you come back again, another AFCON, just right here, Cote d'Ivoire, and you play 3 matches and you exit. What are you trying to tell me? Are you learning something or you are not? So, I mean, when I talk of football, it's all about results. I mean, it's results. You claim you are doing football. What are your achievements? Where is the result? What are we saying?
So what are you asking the FA to do?
What we are asking them to do is that our football is collapsing and we need a change.
So what kind of change?
I mean, we need a change from them, how they are handling things. I mean, people who are taking positions or people they are running our football where they are not supposed to be at certain places or certain positions. There are people...
You mean on the pitch?
No, I mean management.
Management, some people are not qualified to be where they are.
They are not qualified to be where they are. I mean, they are not qualified to be where they are. Oh, please. Do I need to mention names?
You may have to.
They are failures. They are there.
And they know themselves.
They know themselves because there are no results.
So what do you want the FA president to do? He should change his policy?
He should change his policy. We want to see what he can do out of, the circumstance that we are now. Because our football is dying.
Okay, so you're not asking him to resign?
Oh, I mean, if he resigns and, I mean, it would serve good for our football or something good will come out of our football. What is wrong about it?
But he has promised that a lot is going to change. He was in Kumasi the other day talking to journalists.
That is cheap talk. Cheap talk.
But what do you want him to do? He can only talk now. There's no tournament
yet. That is what you have to do.
Yes.
And that is not what he has to do because what I want you to understand is it's just cheap talk. You understand? Now you can only be promising and saying that.
But there's no tournament. So
it's
if
not
he's not resigning, he must encourage the people.
How long has he stayed on as the FA president?
4 years, I think.
4 years and more.
Yeah.
You understand? And there's no result. That is
So
all.
I think that he is not able to do the job.
No.
So he should leave.
I mean, with his record, I would have resigned. It's a shame.
You would have resigned.
Of course, it's a shame. He was there as a president when we went to Egypt for the AFCON, and we hesitated. Well, we came back to learn nothing. Cameroon, we hesitated. Then we went to Qatar, the same thing. Now Cote d'Ivoire, the same thing. So what is achievement? Go back to the junior teams also. I mean, nothing good. The local blasters, they hesitated. In Nigeria, the same as, I mean, you
Do we still play under 21? Are the satellites still playing?
Now I'm coming there. You understand? Where we've been able to win World Cup before.
Yeah.
Where we've been able to win World Cup at the under 17 stage. Now they are all not performing. So where are the results? That is what I'm asking. What are the achievements? Since he took over as FA president, what has he been able to do for
If I can say something
Ghana?
for him, the women football, we always see this nice lady who is the coach, and they seem to be doing well.
The
Black Queens.
You see, the women football,
Yeah.
when you talk of the 17, they are banned for 2 years.
Under 17?
Yes, out of age cheating.
Age cheating, no.
Yeah,
See,
that
under
is-
this category regime.
Yes, and that is so unprofessional.
2 editions of the tournament. So
Yes.
that's 4-4.
No, 2, so 4 years.
4 years.
So if you were to
Yes.
see them, we are going to see them in 6 years' time.
I see what you mean.
Then that's so bad.
It's a total waste of resources.
You understand what I'm saying? I mean,
So a whole generation is
you call
lost.
you call yourself, you are professionals, you are running football.
But how do we do age
you are
cheating?
running.
We still do that.
Well, so it's up to them. They should come to
2021.
answer.
Age cheating in this era with MRI scans everywhere.
You go, you pick a university student, and you tell us that girl is not yet 17. Common sense will tell you, come on, you can't do that. You cannot do that. And today we've got people who sat there and showed to the whole country how incompetent they are. They are still there. They're still managing their affairs.
I think that's a very strong point. I mean, to go on age cheating as an association, heads must roll, as Koko Anyido will say.
Exactly.
This one heads must. You are embarrassing the country.
Exactly.
And we have enough resources not to do age cheating. We have plenty footballers.
And
They are good. You don't need to cheat.
What
You are
made it-
15-year-old Ghanaian boys who are playing Man Pro League. They are great. Take them to the tournament. They don't have to win the cup. We've seen that happening. We go with Brazil, we beat them. Senior stage, the same players, they beat us. So let us start grooming them. Let them go and be in quarterfinal. And let them play together. Get them great clubs in Europe. By the time they are 21, they'll be winning.
What was so criminal about that thing was the fact that FIFA, when the ruling came that we had been banned, gave the FA an opportunity to appeal the decision. And the General Secretary, Mr. Prosperado, told the whole country that they've appealed the decision, hoping that it would get overturned. Only for FIFA to come back and tell the whole world that they never received an appeal from Ghana. That tells you that the people in there are not those who are supposed to
I'm
be.
dealing with some arrogant guys. You
You've been
just
found
don't know where
guilty.
they are coming from.
Then you come back and you lied to the whole country.
They filed an appeal.
Then you filed an appeal. Later, people said, no, nobody filed an appeal. And I remember very well, I was on the program with him where I told him that, look, you said you filed an appeal. But from what we are reading from FIFA, you did not do so. How on earth could you commit yourself to such an elementary error? And this is the General Secretary of the Ghana Football Association.
But what process do the players go through to be called to the national team? And don't we have hospitals, 37 Kolebu. We can do our own MRI scans.
That is it.
And know whether this player, because maybe you are my friend, Countryman Songo is my friend, is Kotoko. I say, can I have my player? Put him in. You can put him in Kotoko, but this is national team. The national team, you have to check. So I bring my player, Countryman Songo, Charlie, go take him to 37 and let's get the MRI.
And they
And everybody must demand. If I'm bringing everybody's bringing a player, you have to demand the MRI.
Exactly.
Passport and MRI. And then we see that, oh, okay, what does MRI say? So this one is problems tomorrow. So then let's push him to satellites.
That's right.
But you can't go in this era and go and have age cheating.
And up to now, they've never seen the need to say, we are sorry.
Yes.
Up to now.
They are defending.
Like you rightly said, for 6 years.
I'm hearing this for the first time.
Yes, for 6 years. Our under 17 girls, no football.
A generation lost.
A generation lost. For 6 years.
Wow. Oh, that's bad. That one, from everything you've said this evening, this one is very, very bad.
That clearly should get somebody to exit.
The number of medical schools we have in Ghana,
And we could commit
We
that.
can go and do age cheating.
Oh, man.
They did it.
But even diagnostic centers in Ghana, there are plenty. In Kumasi, in Accra, people have invested in these things. Take the players there, let them check. We have enough money. Fly them to Johannesburg and let them check the MRI and let them fly them back. We can afford this.
They did it.
Ooh,
This one is more than anybody.
This
in
one,
country.
and the explanation is what? Appealed.
Yes. Because they knew they had no facts to appeal the decision, they just kept quiet. Now, when they were asked, FIFA say, if you think you have a case, come and appeal. He said, we've appealed. So we waited and waited and waited. Of course, as renowned sports journalists and some of us who have been in this business for a long time, we went behind their back. And then we pinned it on them. You didn't appeal the decision. Oh, there was no need to that. Come on, what are you talking about? Under 17 girls for 6 years, they will not be at
But this one, shouldn't it be the minister taking action?
Look,
against the GFA.
That is the point.
Shouldn't this be the minister?
That is the point.
The minister of sports. You can't do this.
Thank you.
You can embarrass the government this way.
By boy, you are
of course.
Some
of us called on the minister. We called
The minister should report it to the president. The president should invite the GFA and give them 2 days to respond to this matter because you're embarrassing the national flag. You can't do that.
I don't understand why this sports minister is still at post. Honestly speaking,
he should have been sacked.
The sports minister is doing well.
In what way?
He's not.
What is he
Was he
doing?
the minister? You know, we've had 2 ministers.
What is he doing?
No, but we had 2 ministers under Akufo-Addo, so we have to check.
Yes.
First and second time.
Whether he was the minister at the time this happened.
Oh yes.
You are sure about
Oh
that?
yes.
So
Oh
if I went
yes.
to a journalism conference next week in London, I don't know about this, and then the British journalist tells me that, I will say we haven't done HET. Then I'll be looking for my phone to call Countryman Songo and ask him, have we done HET? Then you say yes.
Yes. And I'll definitely say yes to.
And the Ghana is not aware.
Oh. You have a sports minister who's kept quiet about
Oh, the minister should have actually made a statement in Parliament to tell Mr. Speaker that there's something that has embarrassed the
So
country.
the minister is part
to
of the
sanction
mess.
the Football Association.
Even the women's ministry. You see, there's a ministry for
Yes,
women.
the women's
They
ministry
should
that they should all have been-
we call upon them.
They
That
should
look,
all be
compel
very
the
worried
people to
about it, that
explain.
this is embarrassing to the government and the sports, the GFA people should be sanctioned.
Exactly.
The minister, the minister has also been one of our worst in our history.
Oh, this particular minister.
Oh yes.
Oh, he's good.
Oh,
He
no,
qualified
no.
us to the World Cup.
No.
He did.
What are you saying? You qualify us and you go and disgrace us.
Let me
Let
ask
me
you.
tell you. What do you want
I was
to
going
ask?
to ask some rumor about you, but you
You go ahead.
So they are saying that Countryman Songo, you are doing this thing because your friend is George Free, who got this.
My friend is George Efri. But
Then you and George have sort of.
George was the vice president to President.
That's what I said, that you and him have.
I'm saying that become what?
Okay.
Become okay in what way?
And then they also say that in addition to the George one, you're also very connected to Nana Aponsa, my good friend.
Yes, and
so
what?
because of your connection, Nana Aponsa has
And
always
what?
held the view that this FA is bad. So I told the person that, Nana Aponsa's view that this FA is bad. It's not secret.
Somebody,
He's
so you
told the
want
whole
to tell
world.
me that somebody's thinking,
Yes.
somebody's thinking for the fireman.
Countryman Songo.
Somebody's thinking for me, the fireman.
No.
Oh my goodness. You shouldn't let me, start with, with my words.
No, not yet. So now that we've settled the rumor, let's go on with the discussion.
What are you telling me?
Now the rumor is settled. Now the
I've
rumor
been
is
in this business more than 25 years. You should know
I know that.
You should know that. I've been on fire for 15 solid years.
Oh, I
This
see.
year,
That's
yes.
long.
Yes. I am the fireman.
That you are, indeed.
You understand?
15 years.
And I always know where I'm
And you are
coming
in a
from.
Valentine dress.
And tomorrow you can put on your black or your red. To work with us. I hope you understand. And I always know where I'm coming from. I know my stance and I know what I'm looking for, what I'm expecting. You got it. You are doing a job where we are expecting results and we are not seeing it. What do we do again? What do you want us to
Another
say?
thing that tickled many people is the allegations of corruption. Is it true?
Yeah. Look, there's no reason why anybody can tell me that when we qualify for a major tournament, FIFA gives us money for preparation. For example, the immediate AFCON. CAF, yeah, I'm coming. CAF gave us 700,000 Ghana. Sorry, $700,000 to prepare.
Oh, that's what all the qualifying teams.
That is why Nigeria said they have a budget of $2 million they are taking. But 700,000 is what FIFA has given. So as a country, they've just added 1.3 million to add up.
Okay, their budget for what they need is 2 million.
2 million.
700 is coming from CAF.
That's
so the federal government has 1.3.
Exactly. And the government.
What was our budget?
$8.5 million. How is that possible?
How is Nigeria's budget 2 and how is it?
There you go. That is the question we are asking. And what makes it even more interesting is the fact that when you look at the breakdown of our budget, we have highlighted $1.3 million for preparation alone. Now I ask myself, but the minister should know that CAF has already given us $700,000 to do so. We are playing the games just here in Cote d'Ivoire. We are camping in Kumasi. We don't need $700,000 to come for 10 days.
For 10 days you might.
No. Here in Kumasi, we don't.
You are paying physios.
We don't.
You are paying psychologists.
We cannot spend $700,000 here in Kumasi.
Are you helping them to?
No, I'm just trying to look at it.
$700,000 here in Kumasi. Dr. Kwame Che Sports Center. No.
Even if Kwame Che is coming at a discounted rate.
Yes.
Are you not taking psychologists that you have to pay by hour?
We didn't take one. We've never had.
No, I saw the performance, so let's start with that. But if English national team is preparing for a tournament, they have psychologists that they pay.
Under Keto Kreko, we've never gone to any major tournament with a psychologist.
How do you know that?
I'm stating it as a matter of fact.
Are you in the Black Stars team?
I have a player who is in there. A player
but the psychologists don't always tell the players they are psychologists. They just come around and talk to them.
We've never had one under Keto Kreko. In all the tournaments.
Have we had one before?
Yes, we used to. Under Kwesi Nyanticha, I remember, I've forgotten this man's name. He's a doctor, the former Kotoko man who was the psychologist under Kwesi Nyanticha. Yes, I think we had one. I forgot
doctor.
Yes.
Or a psychology doctor.
He's a psychologist doctor, actually. We had one before. But under the current FA president, we've never had. He's turned himself into a psychologist because we've seen videos of him.
Motivating the players.
Yes, not motivating. Addressing our player in the very unprofessional manner.
Like how?
Like, more or less, talking at the pitch of his voice and virtually insulting them. Look, if you think you are bigger than somebody, get out. You don't motivate players like that. You cannot do that. So some of us quickly drew his attention. Is it that we don't have a psychologist there? If we don't have one, look, against Uruguay at the World Cup, I'm telling you, we lost that match because we didn't have a psychologist in the team. Because we needed if a psychologist was there, we just go back to 2010, put the clip before them, and use that match to work on the psyche of our players. We go out there, we beat the Uruguayans, and we are through to the next round.
But it's not as simple as that. I mean,
no,
the quality of players that played line up in that game. Look, clearly, I was in South Africa. That was one of the best quality.
That's right.
You had in midfield both Sule Muntari and Kevin Prince Boateng. Exactly. That's something. Then in front of them, you had a Samoa. Stephen Appiah was on the field. Michael Essien was in.
No, Michael Essien didn't play that tournament. Yes, there was Kojo Asamoah and there was Andre at the time, top 4.
Yes.
And we were in Qatar. The Uruguayan team had old brothers. When I say old brothers, you've been in
I see what you mean. But the 2010 team is a very strong
That's what I'm saying. That look at what they took us through. If VAR was in play at the time, we would go to the semi-finals without that Samaja penalty. So we were going to play against a country that we've got a history.
Okay, so bring the history back.
Bring the history back and work on the side.
How do you know they didn't do that?
They didn't do that because there was no psychologist in the team. We went there without one. We went. And when the FA came with their job description for everybody, we didn't see a psychologist. What we are saying, the time is gone. Never again should we, as a country, the government of Ghana for that matter, be taking us to an AFCON that is worth 7 million and that we should be spending 8.5 million. Never again. That the government of Ghana will make all this money from World Cup proceedings. When the money comes, as we speak, they've given the FA close to $3-4 million from our World Cup money in Qatar. We want the government to police that money.
Who has given us FIFA?
Yeah, FIFA brought the money. The FA, the government of Ghana has given the FA some share of the money. I think between $3 to $4 million for them to improve the development of football in this country. The government will have to police that money. Because at the end of the day, these are people who sat there and thought that management members should be given 13 billion old Ghana cedi for no work done.
So say it in a new one. Say it in a new one.
Oh.
So we can relate. 13 billion.
$100,000.
Okay. So
$100,000.
$100,000 is 1.2 million.
That is it. So 13 billion old Ghana
13 billion
old Ghana cedi.
Simple. That's simpler.
That is easy for anybody normal Ghana.
No, I thought it's easier for 1.2 million.
No, 13 billion.
I listen to
Ghana
old
cedis.
Ghana cedis. 13
Old
billion.
Ghana
Okay,
cedis.
okay.
Each.
You want a billion in it?
Yes.
Okay.
Billion.
I listened to Elijah Gruza was it yesterday?
What did he say?
And he said that when he was given his $100,000, clear confirmation that every management member got the $100,000. He was
the World Cup.
Yeah, from the World Cup in Qatar. He was then instructed to bring back 50% of that money.
For what?
And he was like, "You sure?" It's okay. Give me an account that I'll deposit the money in there. So he was given an account, the money. I'm telling you that some of the management members, according to Gruza, refused to bring back their 50% of the money. So Gruza later on came back and said, "Look, I have paid mine. If the rest have not paid, you better give me back my money." So they say he should. They say he should come for the cash. He said, "No, if I come for the cash and you cause somebody to cross me and beat me up and take up my money, no. So return the money back into the same account that transferred the money to you." And Gruza is on record to have said that tomorrow he will make that breakdown, bank details available to the people of this country.
Gruza is with you guys.
I'm telling you, he said he supports it. He supports the demonstration. So many things have gone on. Look at what the NSA people are doing to our infrastructure development.
That's sad. I saw the Tamale
completely
I saw some social media photos of the Tamale peach.
The psychologist, doctor, the name is Patrick Okufoyi.
That's it.
Yeah.
So we used to have one. Why have you cut that short? Mr. Ketukreku, why have you done that? You say you are a football person. Do you know me? Look, the moment he got the position as FA president, me personally, currently, I don't even regard him as the president of the Ghana Football Association. Because that election held in Tamale was not an election. The matter at the time was in the court. The court has put an injunction on the process. Don't go ahead until the ruling is heard. This man defiled the courts of this country. Took the election to Tamale and virtually got himself acclimated as the president of that. I don't see him as such. Because if indeed this country is a country where there's rule of law, he cannot be carrying himself about as Ghana Football Association president. He cannot. He cannot. And then, if you look at everything he's done since he took over as president, look, I'm into juvenile football. You know my boss. He sat in this studio several times with you. The one whose team I've managed for the past 27 years.
What are you referring to?
I'm referring to Mr. Cobran J. Japan.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, at Argentinos.
Argentinos.
You are managing.
I have managed Argentinos for so long.
Oh, I see.
Do
they still play at Lagos, their home ground, behind the hospital?
No, we are at the Bracan. That was Brighton Stars.
Oh, that was Brighton Stars.
The Argentinos.
I used to go and watch them behind the hospital.
That's right.
But they all wear blue and white.
Yeah, we all wear blue and white.
Argentina
because
colors.
he supports Argentina. So you see, and if you look at the investment that Cobran and so many other football people have done for football, what do they get in return? As a coach team, I don't get anything in return. So when Lawrence Atizigi breaks through,
yes, he's your player. Yeah.
that is when a developmental package from FIFA comes to some of us and we invest it back into the team and the team continues. Somebody single-handedly have invested so much money. Then you come and there's money with you, government money or the taxpayers' money. You misuse it. You could say that when we go for the Mundial, one person for between 10 and 12 days for no work done, you're given 13 billion old Ghana cedis. A work that only one person. Look, if you go to Germany, Oliver Bierhoff alone, he was there for close to 14 years. He just resigned. He was the only management member of all the German national teams. Why is it that in Ghana, under 17 management members, 20, 23, Black Stars, all of them when they go, what do? They don't do anything. But at the end of the day, the budget is prepared in such a way that they are given a chunk of the money
to spend
for themselves, not to spend on the upkeep of our team. And what makes it even more
What's the
interesting?
point of they being paid? Is it per diem?
No, they are given per diem.
Hey,
they are put into hotels. They are fed. They are taken for shopping. And at the end of the day, when the player is taking $100,000 as appearance fee, that is an issue for another day. They too are taking the same $100,000
appearance fee. So that's what it's called.
Yes,
appearance fee.
Look, these players. Let me put it on record. The players are willing to play for free. I'm stating it here. This is one of the biggest platforms in Ghana. Some of us, we are so close to these players that they say, look, coach, we are ready to play for free. But those people you see surrounding us, we are ready to play based on where we get to Ghana. After all, we rewarded them when they won silver in 2015. The then president, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, gave them Cherokees.
Yes.
He gave them good money.
He did.
For losing gold. Something I disagree with.
But they got silver.
They got silver, but that's
you like to call it losing gold. But
yes. No, they lost gold actually. It's the trophy we won, isn't it?
Yeah.
We won trophy. So if you are rewarding somebody for losing gold, you're giving him Cherokee, you're giving him money. And in the tournament, they have already been given appearance fee, qualification bonus at every stage. Then you come and give them Cherokee for losing gold. That is unacceptable. You understand? So we've done so many things wrong as a country. We are saying never again. We cannot continue along this tangent.
Why is our football going down? Let me come to country. What is the real? Is it the players are not good? You are talking about FA, which people have heard. We understand that. There's in the final stages of the conversation. Is it that our players are not good?
No, there's no
Is
vision.
it that the coach was not good?
Listen, there's something I've put down here. Let me put it right here. A vision is attained by the work and strategy you put in. There's no vision.
Oh, there's no vision
from our football.
So leadership.
Leadership.
Poor.
Yeah, very
So
well.
nothing to do with the players. They're not bad.
You see, so far, all the strategies and works have produced negative and retrogressive results.
But let me ask you
You
something.
understand
Something very
what I'm saying?
practical. I sat at
And-
I sat at the Hofe Boigny Stadium when Mohamed Kudus scored the goal against who was it? Mozambique. Was it Mozambique? Is it? Which one was the Egypt? Egypt. This was Egypt. Correct. It was Egypt. Great. And I saw Inaki Williams give a horrendous back. Is that Keto Kriku's fault?
What did he say?
Yes, you need to answer that. Let's
What-
understand.
what-
That's what
what
people will be
I-
asking you.
what I-
They saw the game.
Manage the football and let us get results and stop. I mean,
No, but you say
going
that the
about-
FA is not good.
No,
And
no,
we're
no.
talking
Well,
about the
you-
tournament.
You can't go. You can't
Let
go
me
to
look
that
at what
extent.
happened there.
No, that is not what you can't go to that extent. Even let's look at how players are selected to the national team.
Yeah, you can look at that.
They are not based on merit. So even let me ask you,
So Inaki shouldn't have been on the field?
you think Inaki is our best player?
No, I don't think so.
So then why are you saying this to me?
Okay, so you can answer the question by
Yeah.
saying that the players they selected onto the field were not
That
good
is
enough.
what I'm back to, saying that there are certain players who are there not based on merit. I'm not saying Inaki is not a good player. But you are playing Inaki
Okay, so you're saying
at
that
a
this
position
problem
where he's not supposed
comes
to be.
as a result. Inaki is a striker.
Yes, yes, but
Yeah, on that day he didn't play the
that
striker.
is
He was
that
a midfield of
you
sorts.
you think he's a striker. I don't see him as a striker.
What is
in
he?
his team.
How do you see him?
I mean, he plays as a winger and he cuts in.
Is that what he does for his club?
Yes.
Oh, he's a winger.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Like Mohamed Salah.
Exactly. But he's always coming diagonal.
He's always coming that
Oh,
way.
he's not an arrowhead.
No, he's never been
Oh, we have always played him as an
That is
arrowhead.
what you want to do by force.
No, I mean since the German coach was in it, since World Cup, Otoado, we've been playing Inaki as an arrowhead.
when you have football people influencing selection of blasters, now you go to the field and things are not working well. You tell me to only fire the players and fire the coach. We've been doing that for the past years, and what has been happening?
Now, what's so surprising to me, I didn't know Inaki was a winger.
And we have again, look at one thing that is happening. We have an FA president who's got a huge conflict of interest in this thing. He alone, he has 6 football teams at every level. Whenever any of our national teams are called up, maybe I'm not supposed to be doing it, but I will entreat you, if you can, do a research on the players that are called up at every level. 17, 20, 23, even the youngsters. No, I'm talking about men's football. You realize that he alone, Keto Kreku alone, And every ESCO member,
their players are in there.
They are not the best players. I'm not saying they are
but their players are in there.
Their players, it is dominated by their players.
Whether they are good or not.
That is the fact.
That is the problem.
Whether they are good or not.
That is the problem.
You made the point. Sly Tete was an FA member.
Yeah,
His players were playing.
They are good.
But
They were good.
Sule Muntari.
They were good.
John Samajan. They were great.
They were
So there's no problem with that.
That is it.
But put a good player in.
That is what we are.
But then you have to say something for Kosinyantic. He didn't never put wild stars.
Please, why are you considering the every time?
Because I want to make that point for
What
him.
is it?
No, I want to make that point for him. That he never, and I made this point on this program when we were playing the African Cup of Nations. He never put wild stars.
They have two players.
Okay, let him respond.
Look, it's not about he had two players.
Yeah.
They were playing for his team.
Yes.
Right. You understand? And at that particular
They were
time,
good.
They were good.
Yeah.
But that's the point.
Let me consider me knowing him. He will not add his voice or interrupt or interfere in Black Stars selection.
Correct.
Me knowing him, I don't see him interfering or maybe, I mean, he would ask you to pick this player or pick this player.
Do you think that's
For
happening
him,
now?
his action is to get the money to push the team to win.
That's
That is
true.
what I know about him.
Yeah.
He only has his problem with whatever about financial or, I mean, letting things be transparent when it comes to financial or money. That's all what I...
But you think his objective was always to push the team to win?
Yes, so you are not a FA president that you are there to be an agent person where you are always imposing players for coaches. I mean, that is
that
not right.
what's happening now?
That is what is happening.
He's on record. Keto Kreko is on record. He had an interview with my brother Ajoy, I've forgotten.
Not.
No, not Nat. The one who
Sent
just
you.
no, the one who just won the best.
Gary.
The man is on record to have said, even if he's incapacitated, on the day when the final Black Stars list will be released, all national level, if he cannot be there, he will get somebody who he trusts to go and sit in that meeting. And if he disagrees with the technical team, that player will not find his place in the national team. He's on record to have said that. He has never taken that back, and that was a mistake. Henceforth, I wash my hands. He's still influenced, because when the call-ups are made, you see players belonging to his team dominating the call-ups of our national team. They are not the best
And
players.
they are not the best players.
He used our national team to market Philemon Bafo and sold him and put the money in his pocket. Philemon Bafo will complain that he had been given close to 12, 13 Black Stars call-ups. Even in friendly games, they would not allow him to play. He was just using the platform to market his player. By the time we realized he sold the player, who got the money? He did. He did.
But if he sold him, then the player is good.
No, but you can use your own platform then. Don't because of your position.
But didn't Ghana benefit from Philemon Bafo?
We did it. Let me tell you why.
where
When
is
we
he?
went to the AFCON, he was
This Cote d'Ivoire AFCON.
No, the one that got booted out by
Comoros.
By exactly. When we went to that tournament, and the Yadom who was at right back, Philemon Bafo, we were told, is the specialist at right back, and the Yadom got injured. You could clearly see him telling the coach that I cannot run, I am not fit, take me off. The only possible solution to that problem was to introduce Milovan 10.
Introduce Philemon Bafo.
Yeah, Philemon Bafo. Milovan 10 and looked at Bafo. And when he was asked, he said he doesn't think the ball is up to the standard. Who took him there? Milo. Definitely kept.
Who asked him? Who asked him?
Well, Milo said he will not substitute him.
He was so
because he doesn't think it was up to the
Yadom
standard.
played through the injury. And we
Oh,
got
I
boot-
see.
I'm telling you this for a fact. He played through the injury and then we got booted out in the tournament.
So we didn't field Philemon Bafo.
We did never.
So why do you say he used our platform to sell him? Where did they see him?
You see, when players are being bought, the fact that he's in the national
The
team
profile.
alone, the profile alone adds to the value of the player. And that is what this man, Keto Kreko, the ESCO people, that is what they've been doing with our national team. If the late Ike Afrani, the late Samadi, the late Ben Kofi, if that had been their way of doing things, the Ben Kofi 5-year development plan wouldn't have unearthed Michael Essien, Sule Muntari, John Pencil, John Mensah, Majan, name them. We wouldn't be where we are today. So all that we are saying is that going forward, never again. And for me, I want to believe that the best way forward is for the government of Ghana to go back to the way it used to be. Football people should not be given the opportunity to vote who should.
But the thing coming to the point
yes, football people should.
The president should select one.
Should select 2-3 people. Let them vote. So the president select, the government selection becomes the president. Then GAFA brings 2-3 as vice. So because at the end of the day,
that's how Kusi became vice.
Exactly. At the end of the day, the amount of money government is developing infrastructure, not the FA. The money government spends, the FA now and then goes to the government to invest in football. You put the taxpayers' money into
and that way the FA president has a check. The
exactly.
president is his boss.
He's the boss.
You can change him.
Can change him if he's not doing. Take him out.
That works.
Take him out.
And the president's ultimate obligation is that the team should win. Otherwise, his vote is at stake.
It's at stake.
Yeah.
You're going to take 120 people. You get about 80, 75, 80 of them, manipulate them. You sit there for as long as you can and misbehave.
You understand?
So we have the last word.
Right after the exit from this AFCON tournament, all what they were thinking about is to hire a coach.
Yes, they published that.
And you think that was fair to Ghanaians?
I think it wasn't fair.
You should have apologized right from Ivory Coast before getting.
Or meet the stakeholders, meet the journalists.
I'm coming.
Before you meet all the key football people,
before you meet the journalists,
and the key
you have to meet the president first.
Yeah, you have to go to him.
You go to the Jubilee House.
But maybe they've done that.
What? The entire playing body, everybody, go there.
Why are you?
No,
I'm
just saying
you go there to
explain
to the president.
Yes,
you understand. Even your technical report, what went wrong, you make it available to the president.
Was the president who caused the taxpayers' money to be given?
Yes,
to
you understand. But rather,
these are things they should know.
But rather, you set up a committee in search for coach. What are you talking about? You're only thinking about your cash, how you can make money, sitting allowances, and those things. What is the meaning of all this? Things are not working well for our football. We are down now. Ghana, we are step back. Let me say, is it shock or a big step back?
You know, our 4 times African champion is now being threatened by many countries. If
Yes.
Nigeria had won, it would have been 4. Cote d'Ivoire is on 3. So another 2 tournaments, our 4 is useless.
When we had 4 titles,
everybody has 0.
They had none.
Where?
You understand?
When we had 4, Egypt had 3.
They have
8 or 7.
7. They have 7 now.
Cameroon has overtaken us too.
They have 5.
Hey.
Yeah, they were just in hurry just to, shift all the blame to the coach so they can have their way. That is all they are thinking about. You understand? And things are not getting right. That is why we are embarking on this demonstration.
It will be successful. Tomorrow we'll all be there.
Just 1 minute.
Yes.
That if indeed you are a Ghanaian.
Yes.
Text messages ready. We'll take.
Every Ghanaian loves football. We love our sport. Please, never again. Come to Obra Sports tomorrow morning. By 6:37, we are gathered. There are people coming from Kumasi, from Takoradi, people coming from the eastern region. We are going to do this not only here in Accra. After Accra, we are taking it to a circle. We will.
I see.
Yes, the petition is being done in such a way that there are timelines. We want to see proper planning and implementation of strategies that will change the face of our football. We are not going to lie low. We will insist, we will persist, because I pay tax, you pay tax, we all pay tax. Come with one voice, we'll change Ghana football.
And if you come there to join us to protest, it's a professional, peaceful one. Don't come there with a different motive. It won't work for you. Don't dare. We are not stupid and we are not foolish people that will organize a demonstration and will leave ourselves just like that. Me, don't go, no way. You got it. As much as we have the police, the security is very tight. It's going to be very tight. Private one. You understand? Even the soldiers who will not be in their uniform. You got it. We have personal, security guard. Some of us, we are very tough. We are tougher than what they are thinking about doing tomorrow. They want to cause problems by, asking people to join the demonstration and create problems. But what I want to tell them, is that we are on top of issues.
Wow.
We are on top of issues, yes. If you dare, you'll be arrested and you'll be prosecuted. I mean, so I will never come to your aid.
What's the attire for the event?
The black, you can wear your black.
You can see what I'm wearing.
Yes.
Is the Ghana football.
Yes, you can be in your black. If you don't have your black, tomorrow is Thursday, you can be in your red.
And the ladies wear shorts?
Oh my goodness.
Fantastic. The baby
Wonderful.
girls are
Fantastic. You like that?
The baby girls are coming.
Of
Oh,
course.
they are coming.
You don't call them ladies, call them baby girls.
Baby girls.
They are baby girls.
Yeah, they are baby girls.
You know, my mom is a baby girl, your mom is
a
also
baby girl.
Definitely.
Yeah, most
So
definitely.
they're all coming.
You will see them.
Wow.
You will love it.
I see.
Are
you providing music?
Oh,
my goodness.
Yes. Soloku will be there.
Uh-huh.
The brass band.
Yes. Yeah.
Then the jam, the system, the sound system.
The sound system.
I will be working on the sound system. You know that.
Oh, I see.
Because I can jam.
So we're going to have a Valentine's jam whilst we protest.
Fantastic.
Okay. So
Very peaceful.
As many women as can leave their office and come over.
They will come. They will come.
So they hold rose?
Yes.
The flower rose?
Oh, everything is professional over there at that particular time.
Okay, this last bit, please note it down. The last bit of Countryman Songo. Let's take the text messages. Fatih, what are people saying? Just one or two, then we are done.
Ryan says the whole of Ghana and its GFA is a corruption project. Big Nigeria uses $2 million for AFCON, and the small Ghana uses $8 million for AFCON. Why? Now, Nana Yao Mensa says, please, I'm also of the view that you and all the personalities who have organized and will be part of this demonstration must organize a press conference and use it as a platform where you will read the petition to all Ghanaians, share your ideas, opinions, and suggestions for the development of sports. She means football in Ghana. Alhaji Bob Sidi said, I never supported Countryman Zongo in his entire activities, but for once I support his call. Ghana football is slowly dying and it needs resurrection. Al-Hassan Bidugo says the GFA president must go. He is killing Ghana football gradually, but I don't blame him. I blame the Tiger Eye. Lastly, Alex Tufo says most of us in the diaspora support the Ghana football demonstration. Some of us are calling on the government to dissolve the GFA and organize a fresh organization of our football, even if Ghana is suspended from FIFA. Nigeria has done that before. What do you have for us?
Somebody says...
Quick one, baby girl is going to be by my side.
I thought you were going to be by Songo's side.
I talked about baby
Okay, that's
girls.
not bad at all.
Yeah, baby,
that's not bad.
You're going to be by my side, right? More fire.
Okay.
Yeah, tomorrow is going to be dangerous.
It's going to be serious. Okay. Somebody says, Paul, we've never had a psychologist. The FA, this is Safo Champon, our friend who used to be with us. Yeah. So we've never had a psychologist. The FA president was asked this question after the Qatar World Cup. He had no answer and still didn't see the need to get one for AFCON. Okay. Yes, next level of text message.
All right, coming from Elder Kutin, he says, let's go for the ex-German coach and management members. They will expose Kurtz if he dare attempts to influence them. And Kofi Nat says, Paul, we need to know the names of the reshuffle now. Coming from Agbar.
Okay, go on.
Coming from Agbar, he says, for me, all indication shows that these people are doing this on their own selfish interest. And also coming from Shadrach, he says, the breakdown is revealing things we never knew and will never know. What a mess. Over to you, Angela.
Okay, from Barcelona, Spain, Kofi Usubrobi says, okay, no wonder this guy has engineered Ajipong's ascent. We also have from Ibrahim Yobwa, watching us from Kumbu. He says, Ghana football will continue to suffer if people in charge of it are not allowed to perform their functions to their best. Some Ghanaian journalists claim to know everything in sports just because they have access to the media. Take, for instance, the period Ghana won the 4 AFCON trophies. Did the countries we defeated to the Cups behave the way we are behaving now? Everything cannot be wrong with our national team. It's either the coach is getting his tactics wrong or some substandard players are being fielded. In the just-ended AFCON 23, for instance, Ivory Coast swiftly identified that their coach was the problem and everything went well for them. The protest tomorrow, for me, is a populist one and people should not patronize it. Interesting. We also have Kojo Gilberto saying, Coach Nimle, the sports pundit. And Prince Opoku says, Paul, please don't interrupt the fireman. Anyway, we also have Nana Yao Odromensa saying, so Anasis number 12 expose could not save Ghana football. Now, Adam Abdul Aziz Bakari says, Nyantechi was the best GFA ever. Whether you understand or not, all that happened to him was worked out by people who see him standing in their way. Rosamond Anchor says, the spirit to enjoy our own football in any form has been killed long ago. I believe the god of Nyantechi is not asleep, and time keeps telling untold stories. That's it for us. Back to you, Paul.
Okay. So somebody says that the man in your studio, the fair colored man, is doing very well. I tell Countryman Songo, I'm coming to the demonstration 100%. Yeah.
That's
okay.
Fantastic. Thank you.
All right, so it's 11:30 in the night. Countryman Songo, thank you so very much for coming. It's always a pleasure. Please end for me with Songo's montage. Oh, I didn't take Professor Sikanko. I'll take him on Thursday.
The sports minister is part of
the sports minister. It's part of the reshuffle.
You should tell them.
Tell them.
But
who do you want? Who do you want to go to sports?
Somebody who can face this so-called.
Do you want a woman as sports?
A woman.
Yeah. Like the Akwan Newman or something.
To do what?
To be a sports minister.
We've had one
before. Yes, Akwa Sanada as well.
It didn't go well. Even the men don't see it up. Even the men don't see it up. You are talking about
okay. All right. Okay. Excellent.
But I hope we are going to see you tomorrow.
Oh, I'll be there. Hey, I'll be there. I'll be there at Independence Square. I'll come and shout.
If you don't come, I'll fire you.
Oh, John Show.
I'm not going to show.
Thanks for watching, viewers, and good night.
Thank you.
Hello, Ghana, Fogina, Nyamia, Duetina, Drusu, Demono, Drusu live. We a peaceful demonstration, demo live. I have Basuno, Brasport, and Chinamapa, 9 AM Pepe, na ye shas ye, and Nanti from Brasport, Seto, 9 AM Pepe, near the Apo, Independence Square, live, and then media, Bammetro, TV, Paula Domochi. Ni show live enti obia nje obia meka yo Ghana ni bia oba bema akula panyini obia blasters perform ye football perform #save Ghana football enti ye china demo ni live more fire